I'm in it for keepsake, in the field with the cleat lace. Beat freak with the bare face and a slick tongue, that's what she say. She look good, she a big tease when she bite lip with the wink face. Hella bad when she throwing it back, she bring that my way for the team play. For Pete's sake, I'm above average, I padded my stats, I gotta matter what he say. I'm the 2010, yeah, LeBron James off the backboard, type of bad boy. Hold it down for the task force, if I run his fade, then you ask for it. Niggas cross, need to laugh more, I keep it 100 on dashboard. The live show need a passport, cause the beat bounce to the cap torn. Feel like I live it, fast forward, but I asked for it. Misfit, got a quick lit on a crash course from the tattered garment to the tabloid. Spoke how I live it into existence. Might be ahead of myself, but the bank account did jump up a couple figures. Feel like nobody could fuck with us. I'm a flight risk. I play among the stars in the Hollywood Hill. The space station couldn't even get in touch with me. Praise faith that I stuck with it. Wave.
No, I really can't complain. Everything is straight. I've been on a wave. Where everything I say turn into the real thing. I tell her run it up, cause you know it ain't a thing. We made it out the slums, the words on the page. Everything is straight. I've been on a wave. Where everything I'm saying turn to the real thing. I've been living like I'm famous. Like I don't show my face, as I'm jumping on the stage. Like I'm living in a daydream. Lost in imagination. She only want me when she fake. She quick to tell me I'm a fake. She ain't told no lie, she love it when I catch my cadence. She gone off the deep end, pull up every weekend. I hate to let her down, but I'm in a fast life, so you never slowing me down. Heart rate, jumping like you don't sleep well. How you switch up, you always help me down. Wonder why I turn into a cold of me now. It could be worse, right? I got where I'm at without no work-life balance. You tell me that it's love, but I'm knowing that it's malice. Squad with me, God, cut us from the same fabric. No, I really can't complain. Everything is straight. I've been on a wave, where everything I say turn into the real thing. Tell them run it up, you know it ain't a thing. We made it out of slums with the words on the page. Everything is straight. I've been on a wave, where everything I'm saying turn into the real.
What's up, everybody? Peace. 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 All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is the Information Man Show. You know how I do it over here. Peace to everybody. We got my man Alexander in the house. Peggy Roster's in the house. We got Be The Difference Clothing. Peace to you, sister. I see you in the chat room. We got Rob in the house. And we had a few people who super chatted me, like my man DIY, Black Male Advice. We got Amy coming in, Pro Woman coming in. So what I want to do, because we had some fantastic people who had just super chatted me, and I want to make sure I give them a little love for the super chat. Here we go.
Tell them run it off. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up. Flex. Thumb down now. Check. No drip this. Wet. Tell them run it off.
Yeah.
No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up. Flex. Thumb down now. Check. No drip this. Wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. That's for some of the people who came in when I wasn't even on live, who actually super chatted me. So I'm glad that you super chatted me. I appreciate that. It goes back into the program. Now we've got Back to the Basics that's come in the house. Bless everybody out there. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to get into the situation with Ice Cube. I mean, we know Ice Cube. A lot of us grew up with NWA. You know what that stands for. A lot of us grew up with this brother back in the day. Let's give us a back in the day picture right there. And before I get started, because this is something that I'm always promoting on my channel these days, is that black fathers matter. Black fathers are very important. But let me take that off of there right there real quick and maybe just put that over there. So black fathers definitely matter, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about it. And I'm promoting that on my channel every chance I get. There are black men out here that are raising their kids. And even if they're separated from the mother or divorced, there are black men out here that are doing what they're supposed to do. Don't judge us from the small number of men who do not represent us. Okay? So moving on with the presentation, you can see Ice Cube back in the day with the group NWA, straight out of Compton, baby. And we know him from that street cred that he had, that background that we all grew up listening to him give us that street poetry, telling us exactly what's going on in this society. And the brother was brilliant. The group was brilliant. You got Dr. Dre in the background with the LA Dodgers hat on. They got the Raiders. That's back when the Raiders, the LA, stole the Oakland Raiders from Oakland, which is where they really belong. But that's a whole nother story. And they went down to LA, and they said that NWA really had a lot to do with popularizing their paraphernalia, the black look and all that sort of stuff at that time. So this is his humble background, his humble beginnings. And then we know that the brother eventually broke into movies. He ended up getting involved with either owning the big three lead, or either he is a front man for the lead, meaning he's he promotes the lead. There's other people who have economic interests in this lead. So Ice Cube doesn't own the big three outright. He has a interest in it, but he's the one that they put up front to promote it because of his street cred and his background and the fact that he is a part of pop culture. Okay, I'm a 50-year-old man. He's a part of my raising, my pop culture. See, I go all the way back with rap music back to the early 80s when I used to break dance, pop lock, and strut. I did all of that. I go all the way back to Beat Street, Breaking 1, Breaking 2, all that kind of stuff. And so along with growing up, Ice Cube was a fixture in my growing up as it relates to the music, And before you had the gangster music, you had rap music that was metaphorical, that was positive. You had X-Clan, you had Public Enemy, and I know Chuck D has had a few words to say about Ice Cube and his involvement with the Trump campaign. But tonight I want to dispel a few things that are not necessarily true about his involvement with Donald Trump, based on letting him tell you with his own words, not me, letting Ice Cube speak for himself. And he's taken a lot of criticism from celebrities alike, and I get it, because, and I should have had the picture prepared for this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Ice Cube was very critical of one Eazy-E. What's my name? Easy. Man, Easy was, man. Eazy-E, man, I'm telling you, back in the day, it was on and popping. And you got Dr. Dre there, is an older man now, but he criticized Eazy-E. I don't know how many of you have forgotten this or remember, but he criticized Eazy-E for going to the White House and meeting with one George Bush. That's right. And there are some out there that would say that Ice Cube is being a big fat hypocrite. But the truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let him say it with his own words, is that Ice Cube stated, I think on TMZ with Roland Martin, I've got audio for you, and I got video and some audio. And he said that he has never met Donald Trump a day of his life. He his point of view is that black people, for so long, we put all our eggs in the basket of the Democratic Party. And while we do that, we need to hold both political parties accountable for a black agenda. So with this contract with Black America, Ice Cube stated, and I've got the receipts on this, that he first presented this to the Democratic Party, in which they said that a lot of the things that are in his contract with Black America are policies that they want to implement. But their argument is that, but we got to get in office first to create what it is that you want. Okay? Now, Ice Cube felt that they sort of brushed him off a little bit, the Democratic Party, but he said they were polite. Then you have the Trump administration, which came along, and Ice Cube said that he simply had a conversation with some of the surrogates or talking heads for Donald Trump. He didn't meet with Donald Trump physically. He didn't sit down. He didn't do a Kanye West where he was sitting up there buck grinning. He didn't do a Kanye West, because Kanye West came down off an elevator with him, smiling and bucking, along with Steve Harvey. And both of those guys didn't get anything for the black community when they met with him that I know of that's been documented. I wish somebody would show me where the documentation is on that. Just like when I get on panels and I ask brothers on these YouTube streets, can you tell me what are the jobs that Donald Trump has created that has benefited black people in our low unemployment since he touts that? And most of them can't give me an answer. Now, what they'll say, which I already knew, is that presidents don't actually create jobs. What they do is they create an atmosphere. They come up with policies that make it easier for small business and big business to be able to create jobs. So they relax restrictions such as, what Republicans usually like to take away, regulations, right? Because they feel that regulations stagnate job growth and innovation. So Donald Trump has created an environment that makes it easier for business people or small businesses to hire black people. That's the running theory, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it actually works. But when you hold black people who tend to have a hip hop parade for Trump, and you say, and I say this all the time, the jobs that he somehow is taking credit for, are they jobs that are livable wages? What does that mean? Jobs that you can raise a family, you can put kids through school, put food on the table, and you don't have to live in a very poor or very struggling manner. Because you can create jobs, but if those jobs are not getting black people above the poverty level, or if they're not closing the economic gap between us white people and other groups, then the jobs are not giving black people economic liberation. It's just a job that gets you from A to B, but it does not transform your lifestyle from poverty to a lifestyle that gives you upper mobility. So that's one point I want to make. And I've got the plan right here, ladies and gentlemen, the platinum plan here. And simply what happened is that Ice Cube, who's taking a lot of criticism around this with celebrities and black folks all over the country who disagree with him connecting with the Trump administration, Ice Cube simply said they came to him and they looked at what he had, and they wanted to borrow some of what he had in his contract with Black America. Simply, that's what it was all about. And so he said himself, and you're going to hear it tonight, they took something from me, but I never talked to any of those people. Everything went crazy on Twitter because there were members of the Trump administration, his surrogates, who were saying that, Ice Cube is endorsing Donald Trump. Ice Cube never said he endorsed Donald Trump. What Ice Cube said is that both of these parties have been bullshitting us, and we have to keep them both accountable. So he says, basically, if the Democrats get in office, then we got to hold them accountable to the contract with black people, or to ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, okay? Now, his point of view is that if the Republicans win, what do? Just go home and fold up our tent? He says, no, we have to hold the Republicans accountable. Now, the rumor right now, ladies and gentlemen, is simply this. Is the Donald Trump administration simply using Ice Cube as a tool and a fool? That's old school, tool and a fool. Just because Donald Trump is desperate to get the black vote, because he's not actually doing very well as far as polls statistics. But we know that polls are not solid, okay? You can't go on polls. But that's what they're saying. So could he be desperate? Because let's be honest, only 8% of black people voted for Donald Trump in 2016. He got a very small number. So most of the black people that you see yapping at the mouth about Donald Trump, they're a small to nothing. They're a nothing burger. They don't represent a big part of black America. Now, the question is, historically, black people were not Democrats. And I want people in the chat room to give your opinions. You can disagree with me or not. I'm not here to convert anybody, but I'm just here to give some truth.
Tell the truth.
Originally, black people were Republicans because the Democrats are the original party of the Dixiecrats. What are the Dixiecrats? The Dixiecrats were part of the Ku Klux Klan. They were the strong Thurmans of the world, okay? They were the individuals that were oppressing us and trying to maintain slavery. And of course, a lot of us believe that Lincoln freed the slaves, and that's a big fat lie. We got emancipated, which means black people were just a ward of the state. We weren't free because after they emancipated us, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Sister of Class Life. Now you're going to make me break my presentation so that I can give you some love here.
Thank you for the super chat.
And I appreciate you coming through like that, sister. I really appreciate that. Let me play it for you.
But I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me.
Super chat.
I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried. One false move, find yourself, they getting buried.
Yeah, right on. Sister of the Class Life coming in the house and blessing the information, man. What a super chat. Make sure y'all check out that sister's channel. Matter of fact, make sure you check out all of each other's channels. All you got to do is get you some pen and paper. Write the names down, go back into the search engine when you have time this weekend and put their names in and subscribe. I sound like Gover Powell right now. Oh, let me toot my own horn because I need y'all to subscribe as well. There you go. It's right there in the corner. Get your butt and subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you're listening out there, subscribe to the channel. Check out the second channel, the Information Man Speaks podcast channel as well. You go right down the page, my page, and you'll see the second channel as well. Please subscribe and share this video tonight. And as I was saying a little bit earlier, black fathers really matter. So let me get back to the presentation at hand, ladies and gentlemen. So as I was saying, So black people, traditionally, we have been conservatives, and there were black conservatives. So this whole notion that, oh, black people just became conservative all of a sudden because of Donald Trump. No, black people were part of the Republican Party. Black people were conservatives before there was even a goddamn political party. Okay, we've had traditionally conservative values, whether you want to accept that or not. However, this party of Trump, because that's what it is not in step with the traditional Republican Party that we knew under Ronald Reagan and Bush and all those other crooks that were in the White House as well. But the fact of the matter is, to keep this on point, Ice Cube did not physically meet with the Donald Trump administration. And I think what happened is because all the other celebrities are in lock, stock, barrel. And what's going on? Sister Natural, who's in the house, Rob's in the house. Share the video. Underrated Darkness has just come in. Peace to you, Rob. Good to see everybody that's here. Because the celebrities are in stock lock with the Democratic Party, which, by the way, the Democratic Party has historically, and I must be honest here and tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
They have historically, outside of the racism and being the party that created the Ku Klux Klan in history, and it was the Dixiecrats that ran, and I got to say this for the Republicans now, it was the Dixiecrats who jumped from the Democratic Party over to the Republican Party because when LB signed the, the 65 Voters' Rights Act, they said, we're going to lose the South forever. When they first gave black people the right to vote, they said, we have lost the South forever. You had the Dixiecrats that jumped right over to the Republican Party, which is why the Republican Party became what it became. So those same Klansmen just jumped from one party to another party. That's all. Just transferred their ideology to another party. So black people historically, with being so locked in with the Democratic Party, and particularly black women are completely locked in with the Democratic Party, some of them, but a good majority of you. Every year when there's an election, we're just supposed to vote Democrat. I believe that you vote your interest. So if that means voting for someone who's a Democrat or Republican, you've got to look at their ticket. You got to look at if you believe in politics, because I, for one, believe that both these parties voting for the less of two evils makes me wonder, because I was talking to my brother Sanchez about this, and he was out there, peace to him. And the question is, why do we continue, if we don't believe in evil as a people and we're spiritual, why do we continue to vote for evil? Why would you want to vote for any evil? That's just my pet peeve. Why would you want to dabble in any type of evil at all? But that's just me. But that's a position that black people historically have been in with this political game that we have in America today. And so you got to look at both plans. Now, from what I'm gathering, the Democratic Party are saying that they plan to do everything that Ice Cube has in his contract with Black America, with that platinum plan. And that they want to do all of it, where Donald Trump's administration has just took a little bit from it. Now I'm going to show you the audio and the video clips of one Ice Cube. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the first video clip. It's about 7 minutes. So talk to each other. I'm going to look at the chat room, see the things that you're saying. I'm going to play the first video clip of Ice Cube that started this whole situation in the first place, when he spoke his mind on, I believe, his Twitter page or his Instagram page. So let me go right over that real quick. And why I get to that, let me play a little bit of music for you.
Tell the truth.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Over the last few months, I've been really going deep into this political space, reading a lot of history, trying to understand how systems work, not getting caught up in anybody's rhetoric, but looking for my damn self, and just trying to figure out why we continue to, flounder at the bottom. What is it? And what I found is that it's systems in place, as we all know. It ain't because, we ain't doing what we supposed to do as black people, because, of course, we all can do better. There's shit that we need to do to clean up ourselves and our community, but besides that shit, the system is fucked up. It's just designed totally. And not only designed, but there's a dedication to keeping us at the bottom of this country. And I don't know if we can count on any parties to get us about the shit, to be honest. So we are gonna have to do a lot of things different as a black community. We have to pool our resources. We have to think about ourselves. We love all the other races of the world, but at some point we gotta figure out how do we get ahead, because everybody's on top of us, but us. Or everybody's on top of us. And the shit ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna survive this. The way it's going. It's just designed that I can't see the future. So we gotta change this shit. Everybody's been mad at me because I haven't been on the fucking, the gravy train of these candidates, especially Joe Biden and Harris. I don't trust none of them. No president has done right by us. So I don't trust none of them. So putting our hopes and dreams behind any of them just don't work. We gotta make them do what we want them to do. And there's only a few ways to do that. Now, I've been making contacts, trying to, talk about these real issues, straight up, I believe the Democrats they've been nice, they've been cordial, so to speak. I don't really see them pushing their policies in any different direction. They're still talking this minority, people of color shit that don't necessarily include us, that don't necessarily include black Americans, especially descendants of slaves. ADOS, American descendants of slaves. That ain't specifically us, it's everybody. We ain't gonna get shit. Because when you look around, everybody hates us. So we still at the bottom of that. So, I think the Democrats, they got every black celebrity and shit on their team, so they just figure, tell Q to shut the fuck up and vote. And so, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna push the program. We got a program, I'm pushing it on everybody. We also met with the Republicans and shit. They brought us in, we talked to them. They've moved their agenda a lot because of what we said. They put $500 billion on the table, and but who knows? Who knows what's gonna really happen? I just know one of them gonna win. And I don't know if it can really matter to us. We gotta just push whoever is in there, because ain't nobody really solved our problems. You know, people say we can't take another 4 years of this. And black people, we can take anything, shit. It's just, I mean, Joe Biden, you know, the Democrats, I believe they owe us. Will they do right by us at the end of the day? Who knows? You know, I think the plan they have is you know, they're doing a lot when it comes to safety and police and all this shit, but you know, that dough is thin. Everybody money is thin. I mean, we're not gonna get no respect in this country without the cash. We ain't gonna get no respect in this country without having.
Information is power.
Okay, everybody, you heard what Ice Cube was saying. I want everybody to speak their mind. We're not censoring anybody over here. I'm not asking anybody to be pro Cube or against him or for him. I did disagree. I kind of disagree with some of the things he was saying about that black people, we can take anything. Yes, black people are strong. We are resilient people. We've gone through a lot, but I don't think with there being a big giant economic gap for black people economically in this country, politically as well, that we can afford to take more hits. So I kind of disagree that we can afford, that black people can keep affording. We're already hemorrhaging, okay? We're at the bottom when it comes to health disparity. We're when it comes to our health, our mobilities, okay? Black people we're getting it hard, okay? Not to mention that they've done, and I'm going to do a video about this. They've done studies that shows that the social stressors of living in this society as a black person, along with all the other issues, our life expectancy, especially black men, is cut in half. Racism, the institutional systems of racism are part of it. And let me correct something, because I hear people on YouTube trying to find racism, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Racism is a power dynamic. A power dynamic is something that consists of the ability to not only be not like someone because of the color of their skin, but you have the ability to keep them out of all the areas of activity as Neely Fuller Jr. speaks of. You have the power to keep them out of education, out of labor, like jobs, out of politics, out of their ability to buy a home. You can redline us. Hell, right now, as I've been saying this, 54% of black people who are established in business who want to get a loan to expand their business get turned down by 54%, while white people are turned down by only 24%. So there are too many disparities that black people have. And racism is your ability not only to not like someone, but to harm them institutionally out of all areas of this society. Now, black people, we can be prejudiced against, for example, white people and groups. We have the power to say, I don't like this group or these people, but we don't have any power dynamics, meaning we don't control economics. We don't control the military in this country, even though they put us in the military and put us on the front line so we can die. That's just my opinion, folks. But we don't control any mechanisms to now say, because I don't like white people, for example, I'm going to keep them out of housing, keep them out of schools, keep them out of getting jobs, because I can look at them and say, that's a white person, don't hire them. You see? Black people, that happens to us 24/7 in America and historically. So, and Neely Fuller Jr. always said this: if you do not understand white supremacy and how it operates and works, what you think you understand and know about racism will only confuse you further. So you've got to study up on these things. I hear too many people on these YouTube streets talking about these issues, and they don't know what they're talking about. I'm a student of this type of stuff. I've studied this sort of stuff, and I've been taught by the best black professors in the world when I was in college. So let me move on as it relates to Ice Cube now. I don't want to get too far off into another area, but Ice Cube, I just don't agree with him saying that, well, black people can take anything. No, black people are dying. We're suffering mentally and physically in this society. So we can't take too much more garbage, okay? Where I do agree with him, and he's been saying this, is that you do have to hold both political parties accountable for your agenda if you believe in the political system. I'm going to say that again. If you believe in the political system, ladies and gentlemen, then you have to have a system in which to hold these politicians accountable. So that's where I agree with his contract on America, his contract with Black America. Now, for those of you who have read for yourself the Donald Trump administration platinum plan for black people, which, by the way, Ice Cube admitted that they took stuff from his own plan. He knew that they were going to exploit that plan. He said he's not really concerned about that. He's really concerned about black people in America, especially ADOS, getting what is due us. And you heard him. He's tired of this whole thing, and I'm tired of it too, this whole notion of people of color. No, I'm not a people of color. I'm a black man and black man in America. And we are a particular group, and we need tangibles to be tailored to us. When they talk about doing things for the LGBTQ, if I'm saying that correct, you never hear any politicians, especially in the Democratic Party, say, we're going to trickle something down to the gay community. No, they simply do what the gay community wants, okay? When it comes to DACA and the Latino citizens of this country, they specifically tailor their plans to those groups. When it comes to black people, they want to lump us in and give us this trickle down politics bullshit. Not buying it, not buying it, not going to drink that Kool-Aid. So how many of you put a 1 in the chat room, for those that are in the chat room, if you've actually had a chance to read the platinum plan, the presidential Trump's plan for black people. We got black economic empowerment. What I notice about his plan is that it's just a lot of talk. Most of this plan has to be implemented by Congress, which means what? Congress is made up of both the Democrats and the Republicans, which is why if you believe in the political system, what Ice Cube said was right. We got to hold both political parties accountable, because in order to do this, in the $500 billion that Ice Cube said that they made an offer to him, they don't. Ice Cube doesn't have that money. We don't have that money. That money has to be enacted by Congress. So really, all this is just talk. We got black economic empowerment and access to capital. That makes sense. Black people do need access to capital. I would agree with that. We got fueling access to capital for black-owned businesses. Okay, yeah, we need that. More educational opportunities, education African Americans can choose. Now, this right here is really about what the Republicans usually push, which is charter schools. School choice is something that they're still pushing. Then we got better and cheaper health care. Now, I gotta say this, ladies and gentlemen, because I gotta be honest. Donald Trump has been touting that he wants to give us better health care. He's been in office damn near 4 years, and there has been no health care plan. He's in court right now with his lawyers trying to tear down, and this is true, look it up, trying to take away the pre-existing conditions. Say what you will about the Obamacare, whether you like it or not. I think pre-existing conditions is very important because everybody's going to have a goddamn pre-existing condition. If you got COVID-19 right now, everybody in his White House who's catching it. And if I'm not mistaken, and let me know, everybody that's in the house, what's going on, DOD? Let me know if you actually read this by putting a 1 in the chat room. And also let me know if my sound is decent. If you're hearing me, if my sound is clear, just want to make sure. I'm always paranoid about that. But it's still okay. So we got RY has read it. We got a view for a view who's just come in the house. Peace to you, sister. Natural, make sure y'all check out Natural's channel. Make sure y'all check out A View for a View. Love that sister. Shaka, who's come in the house. Check out Be the Difference Clothing. And I still have not forgotten, sister. I know we got to have the interview. I got to get you on my channel. It's going to happen. I'm a slow poke at it, but eventually it's going to happen. I'm balancing YouTube with my personal life too, but it's going to happen. So everything on Donald Trump's plan for black people, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be a fool. I got to be honest. It makes sense. We do need these things. Okay. Safety and justice and safe streets. Now we know what that's all about because Donald Trump touts himself as the law and order president, right? More education, 3 million new jobs for black community. Now you got to read through the lines. 3 million new jobs for the black community is excellent. However, like I said in the beginning of the show, everything I'm saying is relevant, folks. However, even though that is a good thing, I'm more concerned about, well, what type of jobs are there going to be those 3 million jobs? Are those jobs going to be low wage where you can't take care of a family? That won't do black people any good. Or are they going to be jobs that are high paying jobs? And will there be money? And I think the education should take care of the part where you have what? You need education for training if you have to retrain people to go into high skilled jobs. So it sounds good in principle, but yet the Democratic Party as well says that they've got a plan as well that is very similar, if not all of what Ice Cube is talking about. And that's what the Democrats are saying. Now, for anybody that gets me wrong tonight, I'm not trying to promote Democrat or Republican because I, once again, have my problems with both these parties. You got to make a decision when voting on November 3rd, or if you haven't already early vote, you got to make a decision based on which candidate speaks to you. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't like Donald Trump, and I don't care how anybody feels about that. I don't like him because I've looked at his record as it relates to black people in New York, and I don't like it. I have a problem personally as a black man, and I know people, we bring this up. Nobody wants to deal with this. They want to tell you to be quiet, don't talk about it. I got a problem with the fact that he didn't apologize to the Central Park Five to this very day, who have been exonerated of all charges. Now, a lot of folks will say, well, during that time, everybody was hating on the Central Park Five, and he did what it was racism. He did it because they were deeming that. And see, a lot of y'all who are Z generation and this younger generation, you guys weren't alive during the 80s to see how polarizing New York was and the racism in New York that was dripping off of people's tongues and teeth in New York in the 80s, especially when it came to black folks. So everything that happened to those brothers at the time, it was dripping in racism deeply. And Trump was no different. Now, a lot of people will say, well, he's not racist because He's taking pictures with other black politicians. That's what they do, folks. Oh, he's hung out with the rappers. I'm just going to keep it real with you, because I'm not using rappers who inspired to be rich and wealthy like Donald Trump because they grew up watching him on the lifestyles of the rich and famous. See, I'm old enough to remember the lifestyles of the rich and famous channel. I'm not taking cues from hip hop people to determine my understanding of an individual. They're freaking celebrities. They're trying to get something out of the man. It's a transactional relationship. So anybody that uses that as your barometer, you better rethink that. Okay? Because these celebrities kick it with each other. Look at Weinstein. A lot of these celebrities in Hollywood knew that he was a pedophile, that he was a rapist, and they still were doing movies. They still were going to his parties and hugging up with him, like Donald Trump, who was very friendly with both Epstein and Weinstein. So that's what I'm saying. These people be around people that they know are no good because the celebrities and the entertainers are trying to get something out of that person, even though they know that person's got some flaws. So that's why we as the everyday regular citizen, we can't use that as the barometer to say, well, he's okay because some damn rapper is hanging out with him because that rapper's trying to cut a damn deal for something. Come on now. Use your damn logic and common sense with that one. So let me move on because I'm digressing away from what the topic is. Let me see. Black man says, I believe Biden will be much worse. He puts a target on our backs as a senator. Yes, I'm not going to get away from that at all. Joe Biden did sign he was involved in crafting the 94 crime bill that impacted black men and women. And you gotta give some pushback on Bill Clinton because he was the president. He signed it. And yes, Jim Crow Joe, he did praise Strong Thurman. And check this out. This is why when we talk about somebody's not racist, how many of you in the chat room put a show of putting a 1 in the chat room? How many of you in the chat room realize that Strong Thurman, who was an original Dixiecrat, who crafted that crime bill along with Joe Biden, how many of you realize that Strong Thurman fathered a black child secretly? Oh yeah, he was getting them some black butane, and he impregnated a black woman and had a black child, and he kept it a secret for years. And he was giving her money under the table, putting money in her bank account so she can go to school, right? And he was racist as all get out. So that's why when people talk that stuff about, well, he ain't racist because he can't be racist because he hangs out with the black rappers. See, that tells me that people don't know their history. White men have always fathered black children, while at the same time reinforcing their racism and their position in society. You can go back to George Washington. You can go back to Thomas Jefferson, who fathered many children who he had in slavery. He might put them in the big house, put some good clothes on them, and give them the best food, but he still didn't treat them equally. So that's why you can't use that analogy with old Info Man here, because there's too much history of people who have black kids and they still practice their racism, which Strong Thurman did. Now, I've gotten totally off topic here. Let me get it back into Ice Cube. So what I want to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you. And Jackie, good to see you here too, sister. Let me play the next video, media video of one Ice Cube when he was on TMZ. And let's get into that. And he's going to explain his position some more. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure the audio is connected, and here we go.
I think that part of the criticism is that because it's less than 3 weeks before the election, there are people who think that President Trump has said he's going to do this platinum plan. But what makes you believe that he's actually going to do it and that he's not just saying this in order to get reelected in 3 weeks? And that's the part that makes people feel upset that They feel you are being used because of your status in the black community, that he is using you in order to get votes in the black community, and they feel like he's not going to deliver on this $500 billion promise.
Well, I mean, I know people have their thoughts on being, I'm being used. I'm not being used because I walked in there, I had the meetings, and I spoke. I've never met Trump. I've never been to the White House. Okay, so I talked to both campaigns like I said I would. I have a contract with Black America that both parties gonna have to get with. We can't depend on one party to bring this through. It's too broad. Both parties is gonna have to get with it. So that's what my mission is, to make sure both parties get with the program. And I'm not here to get you to vote for any damn body. Matter of fact, I was the one saying you shouldn't vote unless you get something for it. So I'm personally not getting one thing. I'm trying to make sure that all these trillions of dollars that's being tossed around make it to the Black community, not to the minority community, not to the community of color, not to all these names that throw us in this big old pot, but actually in Black entrepreneurs' hands, into Black people's hands to create these jobs, because Black is gonna hire Black. So this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm willing to work with anybody that has a remote chance to make that happen. And my thing is, everybody's mad at me, but nobody is asking the Biden campaign why y'all didn't come up with $600 billion, man. What y'all doing? Where's that 700 billion? We have to expect results. We have to push it. The Democrats have a perfect opportunity to make our dreams come true. And they're telling, let's wait till after the election. And you can believe.
Information is power. Tell the truth.
Okay, everybody. Let me know if my sound is okay. I'm always paranoid about sound. And let me see, QT1. Let me look at some of the messages in the chat room. I'm going to spend a little time because I've got a few other clips to show you as we, get close to conclusion. I'm not going to keep everybody all night, but QT1 says, did you see the one from CNN as well? QT1, I did not see that one as well, but I will. You know what I'm going to do tonight too? The hell with it. I'm going to open up the phone lines for anybody who wants to call in. And the phone line is going to be one of those phone line calls where you can have a lot of people on the phone line. So it won't be a phone line where you have to wait your turn. It will be, you can call in and you can actually be on the same conversation as a whole group. So let me see, a view for a view. He is not a good example of someone helping the people. He is set in his life. That's what a view for a view said. Peggy Rosser says, I am out of here. Since when did Ice Cube become Black people's spokesperson? Trump can't even pay his own bet. Oh my God. I gotta admit, that's funny. Oh man. I gotta admit, that's funny. Nah, you telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Nah, Right. I'm going to say this. Too often I don't think that celebrity really can speak for the grassroots people. I understand what Ice Cube is trying to do. I think he means well. He may not be this is the thing. He may not be the best speaker. He may not have his history all down pack. All right. You can tell he's not polished. But I understand his position of saying we need a black agenda. Now, is he the best person to present this? I can't say necessarily that he is, but I can't necessarily say that he should not speak his mind. I don't think that he is the leader of black people. I don't think he's trying to make himself the leader. But I don't think he is the leader. And that's a good point. How can you put all your bags into the basket of Donald Trump when this man can't even pay his damn taxes and he can't pay his debts? This man has paid, what, $700 in taxes? This man has paid less money in taxes. Some of us on the panel, some of us up here have probably paid more taxes than Donald Trump. So that's a very good point. But Ice Cube never said out of his mouth that he was voting for Donald Trump or he was supporting the administration. Let's get it. That's he's never said out of, you never heard him. He simply said that he's shopping his contract with Black America, his plan, that's his plan, with both parties. You heard him. He went to the Democratic Party. They said that they would use it once they get into office, which does make some sense if you are a person that believes in the Democratic Party. And then he shopped it over to the Republican Party. He never said that he was stock, lock, and barrel riding with Trump. This is why he didn't say it. Now, we could feel that way that, he's riding with Trump. I get it. I'm not criticizing anybody, right? That's why he's catching a lot of criticism from everybody who's not rocking with the Trump administration and all of that, make America. What do they always say? That make America.
We will make America great again.
And my man Spike Lee says this.
In the White House, I'm not going to say his name.
So, I get what you're saying. So this is what I'm going to do before I play the other audio, which will be a longer audio of him talking with Roland Martin. And I think in Roland Martin, he went even more deeper into his ideology. But let me play my main man, Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, who really revealed some things that we may not have known, because his position is that Ice Cube sort of wasn't honest with the Democratic Party when he went over to the Republican Party and shopped his wares over there with them. So you're going to hear Joe Madison is a radio personality out of Washington, D.C. He's on Sirius XM Radio. Excellent, man. Excellent radio show, broadcast show. He calls himself the Black Eagle. He's been around. Look him up. Google him. And I'm going to play an audio from him, and he's just saying it. Now, you may agree with some of the things that Joe Madison is saying in this audio, and you may disagree. Okay? And you have a right to do so. I'm not holding anybody to any one belief. And I can't. You're all of your own people. What's going on? African American Negro. What's going on? Peace to you. Glad you're here. Make sure you hit the likes, because I love that. And my man, Yaupo. Glad to see you here tonight, brother. Glad to see you here. Wonderful to see you here. My man, Yaupo. So let me play this by Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, the man, the legend himself, the Black Eagle, and let you get a little taste of what he's talking about. And you can disagree or agree. He made some points that I thought were on point. And let's get into this. Go back into the studio here, and let's play Joe Madison. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to play a little bit of music, and give me 1 minute, folks.
the truth.
It is now reported that Ice Cube is working with the Trump administration's re-election campaign. Now, this is the same Ice Cube who took the Democratic Party to task because he had a list of 10 things. I guess I forgot what they referred to it as technically. It was like a manifesto. It was a list of 10 things that the Democratic Party should be doing for African Americans. Now, if you recall, on our show, we went over that list. We went over that list. We went over everything. And then we compared it to the platform of the Democratic Party. And we even spoke to the chairman of the DNC. Are you willing to talk and meet with Ice Cube? Sure. Well, yes, let's talk. But he also said everything he wants or he's asking us to do, we're already doing it. We're already, it's already on our agenda. I mean, it was every single point. So then we find out that Ice Cube pulled a fast one on us. Now, what do I mean? He goes over to the Trump administration. Now, these things aren't on their list. Aren't on their list. It's not part of their platform. And for the most part, there might be some things. I don't want to say it none, but Ice Cube says Trump implemented. Now get this. In his own words, this is what Ice Cube said. Trump implemented part of my contract, that's it, with Black America, and said that the Democrats blew me off until after the election. Well, that's not accurate. What they said to him was, what you're asking, we're already doing. And after the election, let's talk about how to implement it. That's not blowing you off. We first have to get elected. We agree on your contract for Black America. Matter of fact, excuse me, Mr. Cube. Excuse me. You want A, B, C, D. You want 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Here's our platform. Here's what we have been working on and implementing. And after the election, let's all sit down and talk about how to implement it further. The Trump people, well, okay, implementing or trying to implement part of it. Part of it. Now, who do you deal with? Do you work with the party that is implementing all of what you want, or part of what you want? But here's what really pisses me off about Ice Cube. He was busted. He didn't come out and say, you know what, I'm working with both parties. He was busted. How did we find out about it? Because someone in the Trump administration busted him out. Now, I'm going to say this to you. We're in crunch time. I mean, we are serious. This is no time to be on the fence, as somebody once told me. You got to choose, baby. You've got to choose. This is no time to be on the fence. And many of Ice Cube's fans, based on what I'm reading on social media, and Jay she follows the social media, and Sam follows it closely. Man, these folks are upset. They are really upset with Ice Cube. So where do you stand? Now, I will tell you, and I mean this seriously, he can support anybody he wants to. Any of these celebrities can. That's their choice. It's only one vote. It's only one vote. But I wish that Ice Cube would have been honest with us. And to be quite candid, I don't trust the Trump campaign apparatus. I don't trust them. I think they're using Ice Cube. Yeah, come on over. Yeah, come on over. Yeah. Well, yeah, let's sit down and talk.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Come on over, let's pick up where we left off. You and I had lots of love just to top it off. We can wind it down for days, never let it stop. I just want your everything, baby. Maybe later we can dance, never let go. Listen to our favorite songs on the radio. Losing up and lose ourselves to this feeling, oh. I just want your everything, baby. I'll be deep under your influence tonight. Ooh, keep it coming, babe. I don't mind another round.
Information is power.
Okay, everybody. I hope you heard that was my man Joe Madison. I think he made some good points there. That's something that a lot of people weren't aware of, that Ice Cube, for those of you who think that Ice Cube was on the gravy train, he originally was trying to really push this plan on the Democrats, and then he went over to the Republicans. And then you saw all the tweaks on Twitter. Although Ice Cube said in the interview he did with TMZ that all those people that were in the Trump, he never met those folks that were on Twitter saying that he was a mega hat. So he's never said he was a mega hat. Marcus Love came in the chat room and said that he still has mad respect for Ice Cube. Look, I gotta be honest. I grew up watching the brother a lot of us. And I still got respect for him because I may not agree with his execution of what he's trying to do and the way he's going about it, because I personally, Donald Trump is desperate right now to win re-election. And this could be a way for Donald Trump to sort of reboot himself with using someone. And we know that politicians use people. It's not just Donald Trump, but it's all politicians, whether it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Politicians use people. Their whole thing is about getting elected and staying in elective office. And remember, you got to always remember this. In politics, there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only permanent interests. And so you got to be honest and say, it was Donald Trump's and his administration interests to latch on to Ice Cube's contract with Black America to sort of make some headways with getting votes, because he's in a tight race. He's in a tight situation that he may or may not get reelected. And that goes beyond whether any of you in the chat room and even myself are for Trump or not. But this is just what people do when they're in the political game. And Ice Cube said on another interview that both Democrats and Republicans, they all exploit whatever they want to get and extract from us. The question is, and let me say peace to Jane Doe in the house, TMT, A View, Rob, AKA is in the house, QT1, Scott, Sister G, Scott, AKA Super Earth. She super chatted me even before I came on live tonight. So I want to definitely give her some love for doing that. And I really appreciate that. As you can see, the couple, lovely couple dancing there. Here I go. I'm back. So I really appreciate that. DOD's in the house. Anita B, Yalpo, a lot of nice people are here tonight giving me support, which I always appreciate. So as I get too close to conclusion, how many of you, let's take a survey right now. How many of you in the chat room that had a chance to hear what Joe Madison was saying, how many of you kind of agree? If you completely agree with what he said, put a 1 in the chat room. If you only agree a little bit with what he had to say, put a 2 in the chat room. Let's see what the survey is. And then go Underrated Darkness. And I got K Money spoken word in the house. Peace to you, sister. Peggy Roster. So we got Peggy Roster puts a 1, so she agrees with everything he says. RY agrees with half of what he said. Jane Doe said 2. DOD agrees completely with it. Marcus Love 2 for half of it. Great. K Money, if you heard the audio of Joe Madison speaking about the Ice Cube situation, if you agree with everything that he said, put a 1. If you agree with only half of what he said, put a 2. But I think that's very fair. We got a lot of 2s in there, so people believe that half of what he was saying was jiving with them. Sister Natural says, no, she's down with everything that he said. And make sure you check out her channel, ladies. She sells beauty products. Wonderful, beautiful sister out of Chicago, Chi-Town. We got the 1, Unitas 1 says 1. We got Misty Cat. If you don't leverage the Republicans, you will not budget the Democrats. But this election, it's a message. It's a messed up situation. It's a messed up situation because Trump needs to go for real. And guess what? I totally agree. Okay. Let me see. Yalpo's in the house. Yalpo says, I don't feel one way or the other. And I know why you don't feel one way or the other, Yalpo. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. Because just like you, Yalpo, both these political parties do a lot of damage to us. Black folks, we're the only group of people in this country who do everything. We bend over our backs. We bend our backs over. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, but we bend over to show America that we love America. We fought in every war this country's ever had. We've done everything in this country to show that we're patriotic, that we're American citizens, and historically, we get spit in the face. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and be dishonest with you all. You all know as well as I know that the Democratic Party has taken the black vote for years for granted because they've been so used to black people voting Democratic. And I got no problem. Do what you want to do. Because I can't control, even if I have a difference of opinion about any of this, I can't control what people are going to do when they go to that lever and vote, if they're going to vote. Okay? So we know that they have taken us for granted because we've always sort of voted for them. But the question is, what do we get for our vote? Even if we vote Republican, what do you get for it? And I think that's what Ice Cube is trying to do. He may not be doing it in a way that some of us agree with. And maybe those of you do agree with his. Let me just do a survey again. For those of you who agree with Ice Cube's approach with this contract with America, do me the greatest honor by putting a 1 if you agree with him. Put a, how can I do this? Put a 2 in the chat room if you agree with half of what he's saying. And if you outright don't agree with him whatsoever in his approach, that is, his approach. Let me correct that. His approach, because what he's saying about black people needing tangibles is true, but his approach, if you don't like his approach at all, put a 3 for at all you don't like it. A 2 if you like half of what he's doing, and a 1 if you agree with his approach completely. His approach. Because I think what he's actually trying to do, what he's trying to do in terms of getting black people tangibles, I agree with that. You may not agree with his actual approach in terms of what he's doing. Go ahead and let's see the survey. Okay. We got pro woman put a 2 in the chat room for she agrees with half of it. Natural says 1, she agrees with all of it. Peggy 3 doesn't agree with it at all. Real Aaron Collins put a 2 in the chat room. He agrees with half of it. Anthony Ingram put a 2, agrees with half of it. TMT put a 2 for half of it. Pro woman for half of it. We got one.net. He says Biden and his crime bill. Let's see. Biden and his crime bill is amazing. Now, if that is a troll, I'm gonna be very generous with you. One.com net. Explain what you mean by that, because if you are a troll, then the mods in the chat room will have to forever get your ass, and I mean forever get your ass out of here. So you got a couple of minutes to explain what you just said. What do you mean by that? And if you don't do it, if you don't explain yourself, and you're out of here. Okay, Xavier puts a 2. Rob, you got to vote. Rob Allbanks, you got to put a vote. QT1, did you put a vote in? I just want to get your opinion, sister. Then we got Ron Black, who's coming out saying, peace information, man. Jackie, let me see, email ICE and voice your concern. Email Ice Cube and voice your concern. That's a good point. For once again, if you agree with his approach is what I'm talking about, put a 1. If you only agree with half of his approach, put a 2. If you don't agree with his approach at all, put a 3 in the chat room. Approach is how he's going about doing what he's doing. I'm not saying that him wanting to get something tangible for black people is a negative, but his approach. We got Patience, who's just come in the house. Thank you, sister. She says peace. G. Scott puts a 1, so she agrees with his approach. Peggy doesn't agree with his approach. Marcus Love agrees with his approach, and QT1 agrees with his approach. Fantastic. And we got a 2 for Shaka. DOD again. Rob put a 3 for not at all. And then we got Brown, who's coming in the house, puts a 3. K Money, spoken word, puts a 1, and J Dunn puts a 2. Okay, fantastic. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the next step of my presentation as we get close to conclusion, which is an audio of Ice Cube speaking with Roland Martin, where he goes deeper into why he's doing what he did. And maybe some of you will have a different perspective after you hear this. After I complete that audio and we get through it, depending on if some people are still hanging with me, I'll open up the phone lines, which will be a phone line which anybody can get on all at once and talk, one at a time, of course, if anybody wants to call in and give their mind vocally tonight, okay? So what I'm going to do is get ready to prepare that audio for you to hear. Why I do that, let's listen to another fine tune, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, boys and girls.
Ain't got the time. Yeah.
Here we go. And here we go.
2 bottles of red wine laying on the floor from last night. We got a little drunk, yeah. Now I'm a little numb. Spending hours by your bedside, talking till it's dark out somehow. Can get you off my mind. Don't wanna say goodbye, bye, bye, bye. Maybe we should take it slow. I don't feel too comfortable jumping into something new right now. Yeah, I don't really know anymore how to feel something again. Think I'm just scared of falling. Don't wanna go all in. I don't really know anymore how to be more than your friend. Think I'm just scared of falling. Don't wanna go all in. Early mornings in your dome, I be sneaking out the door while the sun rises. Cause I ain't got the time, yeah, can't tell another lie. And baby, I know you want more than this, but you know I can't afford your kiss. So I'm staying for the night, but then I gotta say goodbye, bye, bye. Maybe we should take it slow. I don't feel too comfortable jumping into something new right now. I don't really know anymore how to feel something again. Think I'm just scared of falling. Don't wanna go all in.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
When they say you worked with them to develop the Platinum Plan, what does that actually mean? What did you do? Who did you talk to?
Well, what they did, they had a plan. Their plan is the Platinum Plan. My plan is the Contract with Black America. So they had their Platinum Plan, and they saw things in the Contract with Black America that were directed, directly to Black Americans and not just to all minorities. And they asked to speak with us.
To Brother Rob, a.k.a. The Finest. Brother, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
I really appreciated that. And I appreciate everybody that is here tonight. We got TMT is in the house. TW's come in. Jane Doe is still with us. Everybody is still rocking here. K Money has actually put in the chat room the second channel, which is the podcast channel. And on that channel, I'm going to be going live over there during the week, maybe a Tuesday night. I'm going to be doing a lot of late night shows on that channel. I'm going to be cranking out a lot of material over there as I was trying to do before. So you're going to get some good material over there as well. And Back to the Basics is coming. So when I come out of this audio, I'm going to
thank you for the super chat.
I appreciate you all. I appreciate that Back to the Basics. I appreciate Brother Rob that's come in, The Finest, a.k.a. The Finest. And let's get back to the Ice Cube audio. And this is about 12 minutes. We're going to get through this and move forward. I appreciate it, everybody. Once again, here we go. We must always tell the truth.
Tell the truth. I always told everybody, as soon as we finish the Contract with Black America, or not finish because it's still a growing document, I told everybody that I was going to meet with both sides, and I don't know why they didn't believe me. This is not a partisan issue. It's actually a bipartisan issue. And we have to talk to people who have the power to make things happen. Now, they asked to speak to me so I can explain some of my concepts of the contract with Black America.
Who is they? Was it Donald Trump? Was it his campaign team? Was it officials in the White House? Who's they?
I've never met Donald Trump a day in my life.
Got it.
And I've never been to the White House. Okay. So it was people on his campaign. This chick who put out the tweet, it wasn't her. I never met her either. I don't even know who she is.
Katrina Pearson, you don't know who that is, never met her?
No, I've never met her.
Okay.
But the thing is this, they looked at the contract with Black America and they saw that their plan was lacking, and they wanted to implement some of the things from the contract with Black America into their plan. And I said, you're welcome to do it. And I would say the same thing to the Biden campaign. They're welcome to do it. Some great ideas. I haven't, seen too many people disputing the contract with Black America. Everybody understand that it's needed and it's necessary. So I don't mind anybody in the public sector or in the private sector using parts of it, asking me about it, asking for me to understand, what am I talking about when it comes to trying to not count us as minorities, but to count us as, pretty much a protected race. And so I think we're being buried under a lot of words like minority and people of color and things like that. Now, their plan is still their plan. It's not my plan. Their plan, like all of them, don't go far enough. All of them can be better. But these are just the facts of what happened. This is the Biden campaign basically said, we love 85% of your plan, but we want to talk after the election. That's fine. I'm willing to talk after the election. I just think both sides of the aisle need to take this serious.
So what's in their plan that they actually took from yours? Because I've gone through their plan line by line. I mean, perfectly honest with you, I don't see what's in the plan they released and even mirrors what's in yours.
Well, like I said, both plans between both parties are lacking. So, this is what they did. You have to look at the contract with Black America and see where the overlap is. But, the thing that what I try to make them understand is, they have programs, and both parties have programs that are built for minorities and people of color and diversity and urban and these words that don't include us, because they include us, but we only get a small portion most of the time of these programs. So we have to train all politicians that we are Black people, Black Americans, most of and I'm specifically talking about the descendants of slavery, and we have to be dealt with, our concerns have to be rectified as that, and not as a blanket thing with all other minorities. That puts us under 100% of the population here, and I don't know if we can ever get up out of that.
But when your contract, it lists these 13 different points here. And again, in their plan, what do you see in the Platinum Plan they released that mentions that mirrors anything that's in yours?
You got, if I'm looking at it, agreeing to direct VC money to Black investment companies up to $40 billion.
He got quiet right there, folks.
See, a lot of people have been talking about this $500 billion. That's not going to Black people. In fact, that's just actually the infrastructure funding program. That's not actually $500 billion going to Black people. And then when they say
how many billion is the other one given to Black people?
That's a good question.
No, that's not. No,
very good question.
That's not even, they list this thing under Black economic empowerment and access to capital. It says seek infrastructure funding that will lead to widespread growth in the annual $500 billion federal contracting opportunities. Even that line right there is not for Black people. That's federal contracting opportunities for everybody. So that's not, so they're trying to make it sound like, oh, $500 billion to Black people. It's not. That's the actual annual program overall for everybody.
Yeah, I understand what you see in that, but it's really up to us to try to direct that money to black people.
Right. But there's a difference.
If we're not in contact or not talking to a certain administration, because we're on another team and they win, then what do we do? Just sit back and wait?
Oh, no. No. I agree with you 100% on that because
all of them got flaws in their plan.
Right. All of them. He's right.
Said, they put out this stuff, not me.
Right. I'm just trying to find
and told them what I think. And so from there, they ran with it and did what they wanted to do with it. That's not really my concern. My concern more is making sure that both of these candidates understand that this money has to be directed to black people. It's a lot of language in both plans that are iffy, tricky, and are there really to make sure we don't get the money. So it's really up to people to engage and make sure that money go where it's supposed to go. But I agree. We've been lied to for a long time. For 400 years or more. And so, one thing I know is we have to do something different. And, one thing is never being too one-sided, hard-headed, proud to speak to whoever's in power. Every great man in the world has spoke to somebody in power at some point in time, whether they agree with them or not.
But here, right.
So for me, I told everybody what I was going to do, and I did it. And, they exploited it. But if I would have, did something for Biden, they would have exploited it too. So that's just part of the game. The thing is this. The thing is to give movement. The thing is to make sure that we move the needle no matter who's elected.
I agree.
Our program has to be pushed through. So non-dialogue to me is not how.
No. Here's the deal.
How you do it.
Here's the deal, Cube. I'm not against dialogue. I sat in 2 meetings with Trump and with other television anchors as well. I've been challenging them. Well, I want you to come talk to black media. I know of other African Americans who've been meeting with them on PPP, on other issues as well. The thing for me is this here. I judge folks on what you do. And what I look at is Donald Trump goes to Atlanta, makes this big old announcement about his platinum plan, and I'm sitting there going. So, for instance, I'll pull it up. When I see this plan, and then I see in here where he goes, make Juneteenth a national holiday. Well, first of all, that could have happened in July, but Senator Rob Johnson of Wisconsin still have been blocked in the Senate. Donald Trump said nothing, tweeted nothing, did nothing. He said in here also about the anti-lynching bill. Same thing. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky stood up, blocked it in the Senate. Donald Trump said nothing, did nothing. He in here talks about prosecute the KKK and Antifa. Hell, when they had the debate with Joe Biden, he tried to shut Joe Biden down when he was quoting Christopher Wray, the FBI director, who said the greatest threat of terrorism in America is white domestic terrorism. But the thing is, when I was sitting here, and again, I looked in May. No, hold on one second. But no, here's my point. In May, when the Biden and this is what it's called, the Lift Every Voice, the Biden Plan for Black America, I went through the entire plan and broke it down. Then I went through the Trump Platinum Plan and broke it all down. The issue for me is that when it comes to Trump's plan, there's no specificity. There just simply isn't. Even when you talk about programs, when I will say when I go through Biden's program, when he's talking about state small business credit initiative, expand new markets tax credit, improve and expand the SBA programs that most effectively support black-owned businesses, and laying things out that are specifics, that's the deal. I'm looking at a 22-page plan from Biden and a 1-page plan for Trump, and I'm sitting there going, and I went through Trump's plan, I'm like, there's nothing there. It's a lot of words. Not really, because it's only 1 page. Mm-hmm. But the deal is, I'm like, dude, you being the president, you want to make this whole deal how you ushered in economic prosperity, which really all started under Obama beginning in 2010. But it is lacking. Do you believe that the Trump campaign greatly overstated your involvement for the purpose of them being able to say, we have attached ourselves to Ice Cube? Did you believe that you were used politically for their purposes as opposed to really what happened?
Look, I knew whoever I engaged with would use that politically. I don't care about that part. The part I care about is getting something done. Look, my plan is called the Contract with Black America. So all of them lacking when it comes to that. So that's what I'm pushing. So anybody who's going to implement those plans into their plan, then I'm going to take a look at it. But both plans are lacking, and that's why we become educated voters.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
Okay, everybody caught that. Now we're going to do another survey again, since you got an extra in-depth interview that you heard Ice Cube explaining a little bit more about what his approach or what he was trying to do, which we obviously know that he's trying to get something for black people. Totally get that. Once again, let me say peace to, we got RY in the chat room. We've got Rick D Sound in the chat room, DOD. I think we had my sister AC that's in there. Peace to her. Shaka. AC, good to see you here, sister. She says, I feel that the real Aaron Khan, they've had their share of political entanglements too. We got a prophet of thought that's come in the house. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you. Marcus Love. Everybody, Prophet of Thought has a great channel. He does debating. A lot of the brothers within the manosphere, with the brothers that are on the YouTube streets, get over there on, what's that, Wednesday and Thursday nights. And they participate in talking about a variety of issues in debate format. And it's not for the weak. If you step into his ring over there, you best bring your A game, as he would say. You know, you best bring your A game. So I want to say peace to brother Xavier, brother X, as we call him, the Prophet of Thought series. Got a lot of respect for that brother. We got the life of the Grand Master Troll that's come in the house. Peace to you. I know who you are. Let's see. Underrated Darkness, QT1, DOD. I'm just trying to give some respect because you all make this whole thing work. You know, you guys are the ones, you ladies and brothers in the chat room, you are the ones that inspire me to to investigate these things and dig out the information and examine it. And, you know, so let's do a survey. After hearing what you heard Ice Cube say on that 12-minute segment there, how many of you agree with where he was coming from in terms of his approach that he explained this time around? If you agree with it, put a 1. If you only agree with half of his approach with this particular one this time, put a 2. If you still don't agree with his approach at all, put a 3 in the chat room. Let's see what we come up with in the survey. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. So we got Patience puts a 1. Real Aaron Collins puts a 1. Rob, a.k.a. BK's Finest, puts a 1. He puts it all in there, 1. Marcus Love says, regardless of which candidate wins, he will have to deal with Cube's contract with Black America. Definitely will have to deal with that. I'm not going to lie and say that that's not true. We got K Money, who puts a 1. We got RY, who puts a 1. Marcus Love puts a 1 again. Peggy Roster is steadfast in her belief and position. She puts a 3 still. Sister AC puts a 2, partially agrees with him. And DOD puts a 3. This time around, after hearing this particular audio, he says, hell to the no. He puts a 3 in the chat room. And that's how it's got to be for some folks, ladies and gentlemen. That's just how it's got to be for some folks. And QT1 puts a 1. Anthony Ingram, he says, change my mind, 2 to a 1. So Anthony Ingram says he went from a 2 to now a 1. Interesting, fantastic. I kind of like this. I like taking these. I think I got to do this more when we talk about topics. I think I need to do this more with really getting more interaction with the chat room. We got G Scott, AK Super Earth. She puts a 1. COU, what's going on, brother? Good to see you here. Foundational Negro says, greetings, brother Info, and peace to you. We got TW, Law and Order. So TW put Law and Order. So the question is for TW, explain yourself by what you mean by law and order. Because if you're a troll, then the mods in the chat room will be booting your ass out of the chat room. That's a fact. That's a fact. So TW, you have only a few minutes to explain yourself further what you mean by law and order, because I know that's the rhetoric of Trump. Okay, and guess what? Yes, we do need people to protect us from the criminals. Believe me, I agree with that. Okay, but we do know that the police have been killing black people and have been doing it for some time. So explain yourself, TW, so that if you're not a troll, then we don't have to get your ass out of here. Let's see. TW says, I want for free and appoint me judges. Okay, appoint. Okay. I see what you're on. Okay. All right. Let me see. This was a troll up in here. Yeah, get his ass. Let me see. Let's see. I wonder, agree with school choice. Okay, let me see. I would agree with school choice only if transportation is provided. We're not even talking about school choice. So that's a troll. That's a troll, pretty much. Did you time him out or did you get him the hell out of here altogether? Did he get timed out or did he get out of here altogether? Get his ass. Get them the hell out of here. All right. Let's get back to where we are. So Real Aaron Collins says, salute CRU, Jane Dunn. So everybody's made some good. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this for a few minutes to see if anybody wants to call in. The phone line is pretty much, as I was saying, I'm going to put the number on the screen. You're going to see a ticker for that on the screen. Give me just a moment and let me set it up in just a moment, everybody. And peace to you. Okay, everybody, there it is right there. I just put that up there for you to see. That's the call-in number. So you're welcome to call in. As you can see, it's ticking across the bottom of the screen, and you're more than welcome to call in anybody who want. And this is a phone line. It's where you can call in, and I can have 3, 4, many people on the line, and of course get to each person's questions or thoughts. What I want to do, because I don't want to keep everybody up, even though it is a Friday night. Some of you may not even have work or anything tomorrow, but I do want to get 1 or 2 or 3 people, whoever wants to call up and give me your opinion about the Ice Cube situation. Are we, how can I say this? Are we becoming too triggered by the fact? Is it because people don't like Donald Trump that people are becoming over triggered by the fact that Ice Cube was called by the Trump administration surrogates, in which they used some of his plan? He said he never met with Donald Trump. He did not say he was supporting Donald Trump, meaning he was going to vote for him. He simply showed his wares to the Republican Party. And he also went to the Democratic Party as well, who told him, we may be able to do something with what you got going on, Ice Cube, but we got to get elected. That's what they said to him. And then Trump and his administration came on over and said, well, let us look at your plan. And they added some of his plan to Donald Trump's plan that he's got for Black America. And I got the copies of that here. So call on in if you can. That's the access number. 605-313-5658 is the number. Access code 571128. The Information Man Show. Don't be shy. All right. Who do we have on the line tonight?
What's going on in for us, brother Aaron Collins?
All right. What's going on, Aaron? I'm glad to have you here, brother. Thank you. It's been a minute since I've talked to you. And first of all, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm holding up. I appreciate it. I just got back in town this past Sunday. Had to go out, had to scatter my sister's ashes and all, so, you know. Okay,
brother. I didn't know that you had a loss in the family. You lost your sister. We'll have to talk offline. I'll have to have a more personal conversation with you about that as well, personally, offline. But I want to say that I want to give my condolences, and my heart goes out to you and your family. Losing someone so close to you like that, that's I can't put any words. I don't know what to say, Aaron.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel that's something that that's something that I definitely didn't want to hear, brother, because I know being the kind of brother that you are, that's got to be tough. What am I gonna do? What I'm gonna do for those that are on the line, just give me your name and tell me your name, and please turn off any YouTube videos you got on, because it's going to give us terrible back sound, and I'm a stickler for sound. And just give me your name, and I'm going to get you on in. But Aaron, why I got you right here now, Aaron, what is your thoughts about, and anybody that's on the line can give their thoughts too. Let's just get right to it. What are your thoughts about Ice Cube? Do you think he's being unfairly crucified or criticized by the celebrities and by the Black community that don't agree with his approach? Or do you think he's correct in saying, you know, we gotta like hold both accountable? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And he was doing it in the way that he would do it. I mean, at least he's doing something. That's the way I look at it. I mean, people can criticize him all they want, but at least he's doing something, because I hear people too many times complaining about stuff but not doing nothing. Cube is doing things. Cube may not be as politically as astute as we would probably like him to, but he's not dumb either. Cube is a very intelligent brother. He's been that way since NWA, and he's always had his ear to the street as well as to the political process. And the contract with Black America, I think is a genius thing. I mean, at least in the fact that he's presenting it to both parties, I think that's a good strategy on his part. So no one can say, well, he's pandering to this party or he's pandering to that. he's putting it out there for both sides to at least take a look at.
Okay.
I agree. I agree with that too.
Oh, who's it? Okay.
I agree with them totally.
Okay, so wait a minute. Aaron, Aaron, just take a pause real quick. The two people that's on, who do we have on? We have two other people that's on. Fantastic. Who are we speaking?
Love.
Marcus Love. I'm glad you're here, brother. Marcus Love. And who else is on the line?
Cutie.
And Cutie? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Okay, Cutie.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for calling in. Let me know after you say your piece. I'm going to go to Marcus Love and hear what he has to say. But what is your thoughts, sister? I mean, you agree with Ice Cube? Do you like his approach? Don't like it? Do you think he could do something better? What's your thoughts?
Okay, first and foremost, to Aaron, I'm sending you love and prayers and peace, my brother.
Most
I'm
definitely.
so sorry for your loss.
Yes, that's appropriate.
Okay,
Definitely.
and so to the question, and I've been saying it in the chat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I like the contract.
Okay.
Okay, and when I say that, I mean it's a start. Okay, everything is workable. I think Jane Doe put in the chat about the the police reform.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of the things I didn't agree with as well. See, that's something that needs to go further. Okay, just the same way when Barack was in office, when he came with the cams, right? The body cams. Well, that didn't go far enough. So that part I don't agree with. But as Aaron said, it's a start. It's a wonderful start. And even if people don't really agree with the contract, I'm hoping that at least they are picking up the language, okay, which is, we want this strictly for Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We are not messing with this people of color. We are not going for the all-inclusive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At least if they're taking that, then that's also another start in our thinking as Black people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so, yeah, I do believe he's being unfairly crucified, meaning because I know there's a lot of people that came in the chat late, okay?
Yes.
So one, if you haven't read the actual contract, it's a little difficult for people to just go on the sound bites, right?
Right.
So once we move past that, then okay, now we have to look at the sound bite. And when we look at those, then we have to do a little more research, because like the guy that you had speaking, the older gentleman, the sound bite you played,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I didn't like that he put Ice Cube out to be a liar, because
Mm-hmm.
he said like he was only dealing with the Republicans. So right there, that's disingenuous. And if us as Black people, we don't pay attention to that type of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then we're gonna fall for what the Republicans are trying to believe us, what they want us to believe, which is like, oh, he's on our team. No, he's for who's ever in the position to get the work done. He's an independent.
I agree with you. I agree.
He's just putting it out there. Like, if you, because at the end of the day, what are you gonna do if this is the person that's in there, whoever ends up in there, and you are that strong about what you are trying to do for your people? Does it matter who's at the table?
No, you're absolutely right, because Black people, going back to Dr. King, I don't have to name all the names. You all know the names. Black people have always had to deal with racist individuals in that White House, senators, Congress people, mayors, everything. We've always had to sit down at the table and negotiate and deal with these types of individuals. So that part that part is not new, and I don't think none of us should act like it is new. So therefore, you can make the argument that we shouldn't be criticizing Ice Cube, because he's doing no different than other people did in the past, trying to cut a deal for Black people, knowing he had to deal with the snakes. And that's unfortunate for us, though, to be honest with you.
Right, but that's how it's always been. And the last part I wanted to say, because somebody keeps saying, who made him the spokesperson? You know who made him the spokesperson? The white media. because he didn't write this contract on his own. There are other people who are well versed, who are better spoken, than Ice Cube is. But for some reason, if y'all not, you know my favorite line, Info Man, is the Jedi mind trick. Okay, that's the Jedi mind trick. It's all by design that they're pushing him out. It's because, like, he's not as well spoken. Oh, he needs to stay in his lane. He helped to draft that, but it's amazing they're not pulling the teacher up who helped.
Right,
they're not pulling the professor up who helped. You understand?
Isn't it? I'm hearing people are saying that they think that it smells of Claude Anderson. And other folks that have talked about this, there's other. So let's not get it twisted. Ice Cube is not presenting anything that black people have not either talked about or tried to present in the past. He's just trying to package it for the 21st century. I totally get it. Who else do we have on the line? I know Marcus Love was on here. Who else is on here? Is that
on the line?
Okay.
You got Wait a minute. On the line.
Okay.
Information man, this is Marcus Love.
Okay, yeah. Let me let Marcus Love say his piece because he's been waiting.
Who ever read Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson? I've actually met this man 10 years ago when he had a book signing in S&1 bookstore in Leimert Park in LA.
Yes.
Ice Cube didn't do this on his own, but I can tell from the interview he had with Roly-Poly Martin, no disrespect, but whatever on that dude. Ice Cube is taking so many talking points from Powernomics, the book that Dr. Claude Anderson penned over a decade ago.
Yes.
It's step-by-step vertical economics. And what he's doing is too many people that I've read. I was reading the chat room, just disrespectful. Who made him the spokesperson? All this bullshit. Who gives a fuck, man? I mean, the man is speaking for us with a black agenda. He's doing more than Obama did. Obama didn't have a black agenda because all we did was vote for him because he was black. I'm guilty of that. Back in 2008, I saw his black face. I voted for him.
Okay.
2012, I didn't vote for him.
Mark, brother Love, can I ask you?
And I'm looking at what? Yes, sir.
Can I ask you this question? And don't kill the messenger here. Do we, as a people, ally? I'm not saying I don't agree with Ice Cube speaking truth to power as it relates to what black people in America need, but do we ally on black celebrities or celebrities to speak for us too often? Am I wrong or right? I'm just saying.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right. You're 100% because we do rely too much on celebrity, and I'm not starstruck at all. But I tell you, when Ice Cube spoke, I heard that interview he had with Roland Martin. I have to agree with him. I have to agree with him because it's like when, like I was saying, when Obama came in, we didn't hold his feet to the fire with the black agenda. Plus, he didn't come. Neither him or his wife or Joe Biden, none of his administration came up with a black agenda. That's our fault. Now, this is 2020. See, and Cube has the balls to come out there and say, this is what we want. You do it just like when you were having a peace treaty during war. I don't know how many military brothers are out there, but this is straight up what you do. You go to the enemy. You talk to them. You have talks. Right now, we're just talking. This is what they want us at the table.
Right.
It's better than war. So I'm saying is we go to both sides, both of these Democrat, Republican, whoever wants to ride with us.
Yeah.
And if Trump's going to come out with some tangibles, which this motherfucker lies his orange ass off, but at least he's got something else out there right now. I'm not shocked that the Democratic Party didn't come with another carrot like that to say, here, we got something too. They just assuming that we're all going to vote for them because the Democratic Party is the black party. That's which is bullshit. I'm independent.
Right.
I've always been a Russian independent.
Right.
And when I saw that interview with Cube, I was saying to myself, he's got a black agenda. Now, and he's right. Regardless of who wins in 3 weeks from now or 2.5 weeks from now, they're going to have to decide. They're going to have to deal with black people. There's tangible for black men. Not people of color, not minorities. Fuck all that. Fuck us.
No, brother
and
Love.
I respect him for that. Who else got a plan out there right now? Nobody.
Right, brother
Regular
Love.
person or celebrity. Who's got a plan out there? The NAACP, which is About Jewish people?
Brother Love, let me
Jackson, hell no.
Brother Love, let me
shit.
get your attention real quick because I want to have the other sister speak that's waiting. But let me ask you this question, and I think everybody in the chat room should be able to relate to what I'm saying. I gotta be honest, I did not appreciate the Democratic Party's commercial in which they used black women that were strippers saying, "Get your booty to the polls." I didn't think it was clever. I didn't appreciate it because you know why they did that. Yes, that was recent. I did a video about that. Go check out my second channel, and I put footage on the video on my podcast channel. Check it out. I give you the footage. I give you the footage and everything, and I do an analysis of that. But let me just say this here. I know why they did it. Because they know that black men are kind of on the edge or iffy about wanting to vote Democratic. Some black men, but there's a lot of them out there, and they know that they have black
information. Man, black men don't want Kamala Harris up in that bitch.
Right.
That's what it is.
But what I'm saying is they know
she's one heart attack away from taking over the Oval Office.
Right.
And I don't want her up in charge either.
Right. But my point being is that they know that the Democratic Party is fueled by black women and that black men are kind of on the fence with it.
True.
And so they created they created that ad specifically to target black men by promoting our women in a sexual way by saying, I got it.
I haven't seen this.
Well, come on, brother.
Look at it.
Come on, brother. Go over to the.
Do you think it's working on us?
No, but my point being, brother, is that tells me that's what they think of black men, that all we gotta do is give them sexual stuff because you know they like that Cardi B, who ain't even black, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. We know they like that Meg Thee Stallion. We know they love that stripper and hoe culture. So give them that, and those Negro men will run to the polls and vote for us. So it was a disrespect to black men in the black community. That's how I looked at it. Now, the other sister that's online, and Brother Marcus Love, thank you for your words, brother. It's good to see you over here, and it's good to hear you too.
I didn't mean to disrespect your show by cursing so much.
No. I like you to be yourself. I'm not over here trying to censor nobody, but be yourself. But we got another sister on the line. I want her to be heard as well. Let everybody know who you are. No. Let everybody know who you are and what's up with you. How you doing? If you're still there.
This is G. Scott.
G. Scott. Fantastic.
Known as the Super Earth.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You know, I changed my name with the weather and the current, right?
Yeah.
So, brothers and sisters, I just want to put y'all up on game because I've been following Cube and his contract since he first personally himself drew it up, right? And then you had other people adding on or suggesting things. So I think that he was taking points from a lot of different people.
You think Tone talks?
However,
you think Tone talks an event? Okay.
This is the kicker.
Okay.
He did an interview with Tone. You know, he did an interview with Tone about this contract.
I've been trying to find that interview. I couldn't find it.
Donald Trump, right? I watched it. Then I woke up this morning and Roly Poly interviewed him, right?
Yeah, that's what I played.
So then I'm looking at this stuff like, if you take these people's words and just draw up a transcript, right? And go word for word of what Ice Cube has been saying, compared and contrast to the lies that they have been spewing, then you would know a lot of them are nothing but Democrat boule puppets, you know what I mean? That's throwing salt in the game. The thing about it here is a lot of people call themselves on code, but we ain't dealing with code. We're dealing with a frequency here. And I really feel as though Cube is on the same wavelength. Of course, he's not a politician, right? He's not a politician, and he's growing and learning about these things the same as others. I was a campaign manager for the U.S. Senator here in Wilmington, Delaware, right? So I heard people talking about politicians. Politicians is dumb as rocks. Campaign managers be dumb as rocks. I'm like, wow, where do these weirdos come from? How they get in these positions You know what I mean? And they don't have common sense. So when you're looking at politics, you're really looking at advertisement. You're looking at pandering. You're looking at people who are pitching. And then the main thing they do is what they've always did, and that's called divide and conquer. So what I'm saying, when he went on Tone Talks, and not only did he go on Tone Talks, Ice Cube was a part of the board that got California reparations for Adams. Okay? He sat on the board. So now, soon as he got, that interview, you had Joy Reid came out first. Then you had all these people on Twitter and other places attacking him. I was like, wow, look at these, here come the attack dog. Right? This ain't really about politics with a lot of us, because a lot of us is really fed up with politics, period. Right? And we're saying no tangibles, no votes. However, if I go to a job interview and I know both of these people want to hire me, right? And I give them my resume, and one person says, okay, well, we're going to work with what the offer that you asked for, or maybe we'll negotiate it, right? Then the next person going to say, oh no, wait until you hire, we hire you, and then we'll negotiate the price. I don't think so. This ain't all about politics and emotions. This is business. That's the problem. We've allowed these people to tap into our emotions for the longest time instead of tapping into our emotions.
Okay.
We need to start tapping into their pockets so they can give us our 40-acre and a mule, and we're not playing with them.
G. Scott,
no matter who's the president.
Sister G. Scott, let me ask you this question, and don't take this in a disrespectful way. I'm talking about women right now. I think one of the reasons why the Democratic Party has had some success with black women is for the same reason of what you just said a few minutes ago. We are too damn emotional, and they feed off the emotion. Absolutely. So when they put Kamala Harris on the ticket, a lot of black women got very excited about her, got all exuberant about her, and they went with and when we all, hell, I damn near cried when I ain't gonna lie to you. I damn near shed a tear when the brother became president. Absolutely. I ain't gonna lie. So and this is the thing. They know, these politicians, both Republican and Democrats, but they know that black people are emotional. So they play on our emotions.
And they pander. They do that by what's called social engineering now.
Yes.
And that's commercials. You got her running around with Timberlands and Converse. They even got this thing where they look like rappers on this parental advisory stuff. All this foolishness.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And let me ask you this.
For the real, who can look with a naked eye and see, you know what I mean, what they're doing, then we know why they actually attacked Ice Cube. It wasn't really all about that contract, but because Tone, right?
Yes.
Because they got a problem with us anyway asking for our reparations. That's where the problem came from.
Well, like I was telling Marcus.
And I totally agree. These women that they have, and I was speaking to a brother earlier today, and he was like, sisters have been on this feminist thing for so long, nobody is speaking. I said, listen, I've been on the front line for a long time fighting for freedom, justice, and equality, okay? I was in the corporate world in the early 90s with locks in my hair, wearing 3/4, and sisters were in there like, oh, how can you do that? I won't, I don't know. They wouldn't let me get this job. Well, I'm working the same spot you working. Why, what's the problem? You know what I mean? I've always felt as though, we should not be afraid to ask or do things, you know what I mean, without these people's approval. And until we get in that mindset, we're going to continue to be looked at as the joker and the fool every time by these people. Each election, it's going to be the same thing if we don't get business-minded about it.
Right. Well, G. Scott, sister, I appreciate you coming on board and speaking your mind tonight. I could tell that you old school, the way you look at the things, and I agree with you. Thank you for your support, the super chat tonight and everything like that. I'm going to just keep doing this. This format where I have people call in, I'm going to reincorporate it back into my program because I think it's great to be able to hear people And every now and then I'll have some panels. But thank you for what you have put on the table. But let me say this before you leave, because some people in the chat room may believe that when I was talking about the strippers, yes, in the ad, they were actually females that were dressed as strippers. I think they're from Atlanta, legitimate strippers. And I know what they were doing. They were basically saying, get your butt to the polls and vote. But that was targeting black men. And that tells me that's what they think of us, that all they got to do is throw the emotions
using
up.
The black woman, they've been using the black woman since we got the Civil Rights Welfare Bill, and that's an actual fact. Another thing is that Martin Luther King sat down with Lyndon B. Johnson. He was the most racist person on this planet, but guess what he got us? He got us the Civil Rights Bill, right? Because he understood stuff. He understood that this wasn't personal, this was business. Once he said, oh, we coming for our reparations check, they murdered him.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
So, it's not that you got to have that business mindset because all of these people will get tangibles out of this thing and resources, and we still going to be sitting here looking crazy afterwards.
Looking crazy, yes. Well, let me do this, and I appreciate you coming on board. I'm going to see if there's anybody else on the line that has something to say before I put a crescendo on tonight's program. Is there anybody else? Okay.
What's up? Information man,
what's up?
It's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll.
Oh God, don't troll me, brother. Don't make me your latest victim on your show, brother. Come on now, you from the town, man. I know you from the town, and I lived in the town for 10 years myself. Give me your honest opinion about what you think is going on in terms of the pushback that Cube has gotten. Do you agree with his approach? Do you disagree? Do you disagree? Do you agree in general? What is your thoughts, brother? Go ahead. I'm listening. Everybody's listening to you. Grandmaster Troll is up here live.
Well, I agree with Q 100% of the time, but this is the problem with all these economic plans. They could promise to rebuild schools, rebuild homes, fund this and fund that. But if the government doesn't wire money directly into black people's banking accounts, cash apps, PayPal accounts, or whatever it is, it will never be enough. So I'm going to ask you this information, man, because I'm also a fellow YouTuber.
Okay, I'm listening to you.
I see your channel. You have over 10,000 subscribers. I see you in your $1 million studio. You got all these fancy equipment and the lighting going on. So I gotta ask you information, man, because I know you. I know that you're a businessman. Does your channel, the information show, do you have an LLC for your YouTube channel?
I'm in the process of going with that. You know, it's funny you would say that because I was on. Who channel was I was on somebody's channel one night, and maybe you was in the chat room that night, and we were talking about that more black people on YouTube need to really handle their program in that professional manner, their shows, their program, their channel. I'm in the process of doing that. I need to trademark my name. So actually everything that you're saying is what I'm in the process of trying to do. So that's what I'm going to do, brother. Yes.
So let me ask you this question, because you're a YouTuber, so I'm sure you're familiar with the names Boyce Watkins, Glendon Cameron, Angry Man, Kevin Sims. I'm sure you're familiar with all those names.
Yeah, I've been on panels with those brothers before. Yes.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that all those brothers have LLCs.
Yes.
And there's certain advantages that you get with those LLCs that you're not. And with all these economic plans that the government is giving out, if you're not playing the game of having a business, you're going to miss out on the tax benefits, the loans, whatever they put in these economic plans. Black people are going to miss out because they're not playing the game. And for me, as a Trump supporter, I'm going to let you know I'm a 100% Trump supporter. See how Trump, how he, I guess, danced around his tax thing where he only paid $750 in federal income. what Trump has been telling black folks as well as Americans, get yourself a goddamn business, get involved in real estate, get involved in the stock market, get involved in cryptocurrencies. But for whatever reason, because I had a job where I was selling life insurance and other financial plans, we would bring in black people. We would actually target black people. We would sit them down. We would ask them, do you have life insurance? Do you have a retirement plan? Every time the black person would come in the room, no, I don't have life insurance. I don't have a retirement plan. I'm looking to make extra money. We would ask them, we will teach you how to get involved in the business. All you got to do is pay this amount, do this, and do that. And for whatever reason, black people refuse to get involved in the game of economics.
So
can I also add that with the LLC, you can also add your family. That's how Donald Trump also avoided taxes. I think once your children get into high school or something like that, you could put them on the LLC.
Now, is it just, I don't want to simplify this. Maybe things are more simpler than we think it is, but I hate to say this. Is it that black people just don't understand what money is and how it works and operates? Is it that we are not as illiterate as we think we are when it comes to understanding money and how to manage it and how to make it work for ourselves? I just looked at a story on YouTube. Do you know that because black people are buying so much the hair industry, the fake hair or whatever we call it, that ladies put in their, they put in their hair, that it's become such an industry that they are actually using damn near slave labor in China, where they're putting people in indentured servitude to produce the hair, and it's a $1 billion industry. And it's that industry, it's become that kind of industry because it's black people. We buy more hair products and more things than anybody.
That's not just it, information man. That's not just it either. The other part of that, I don't know, was that in the 70s? They made a deal with the government.
Right.
Okay,
no, what happened was it was the Koreans that made a deal.
We couldn't import and stuff. Okay, so
right.
See, we don't have manufacturing.
Right.
You understand? So the black businesses have to rely on those imports and whatnot, right? And they jack up the prices. But they take care of their own.
Yeah.
So a lot of time, there's only a handful of people that I know personally that actually fly out and inspect and all that and bring their stuff back.
Okay,
but that's very difficult for small businesses to do, right?
But my point,
we're just too much of a consumer,
right?
And because we're consumers, we're like that because we were survivors. We watched our parents, a lot of us, survive. They weren't really living. You understand?
Right. But let me just say this. Wait a minute.
That's where we're at now, a lot of us.
Wait a minute,
Can
sister.
I give you guys a jewel before I go?
Yes. The only reason why
the
only reason why, let me just say this. The only reason why I brought that up is I brought it up not because I'm saying it's about us being in the hair business. I'm saying black people just buying these products. It's in the billions. We're getting other people rich. So therefore, that means that we do have capital. We just not spending it properly on ourselves. But what do you want to say, sister? That's on. All due respect to you. Give us the good word.
They said if you change your mind, you change your life, right?
Uh-huh.
So all along, our babies have been now programmed just to think that they should be musicians or football players, things of that nature. Now, my other half works on Wall Street, right?
Okay.
And he's been doing for a long time, he's been asking basic brothers and sisters, trying to give them jewels about coding, right?
Yes.
Investing in coding, right? Investing in biochemicals. And especially like all of his clients that did pharmacy and things of that nature right now are balling on Wall Street, right? That AstraZeneca, things of that nature, they're making money. So what is going on now? I'm with my uncle, and he has a brother. This brother is awesome. He's Haitian, right?
Yes.
He's 31 years old with 2 PhDs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He worked for Disney. He helped them code that Disney app that they have now that crashed. It was so many people that was on it, it crashed at the beginning. But now we're working on this project, right, where they're doing, you ever heard of Dragon Speech? Okay, so now they have this software Dragon Speech, but now when you speak into it, it's able to translate into 180 languages just by your command, voice command, right?
Right.
So we're putting that out there, and we're also thinking about setting up a school for the unfortunate baby so we could teach them how to code, right? Because like you said, the problem here is financial illiteracy is really what's going on with the Black community. And then you have some uppity ones that has this knowledge and refuse to teach their own kind. But they'll go out there and teach everybody else for free.
Yep.
It's mind-boggling.
So it's like it's almost that mindset of like they don't want to see somebody do better than them. And that's sad. It's like we can all do better as a whole. So then there's no more of that, okay, well, I have this, so I can't live in this neighborhood because somebody may steal. You see what I'm saying? If we're all equally sound, if we're all equally yoked, we won't have those problems. And it takes nothing just to sit and teach. Even if you did some online, like the YouTube, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some others may get it, but at least start advertising. Then you make it private to do some type of teaching online. It's not complicated. And I think a lot of times we make it more complicated than it has to be. And it definitely goes back to a lot of us who were brought up in the 80s and whatnot. You know, a lot was going on, but it was like we still had our middle class. Thank God I didn't go through struggles and all that coming up. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people who did, and that's what I meant when I said a lot of families were on survival mode. So when you're on survival mode, you're not teaching your children economics. Okay, all you're teaching them to do is to go get a job, honey. We wasn't even thinking back then, getting the sports and all that. It's get a job, because you know what? Back then they wanted to keep. You got to be out when you're 18. You're either in school, you're working. See, because they didn't know any better.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we know better now. And there's no excuses for us anymore not to. What they say, each one teach one.
So
there's no reason that we can't do that.
Let me add.
I think black people, right, us as a whole, that problem with our generation coming up is this. They taught the children more about religion than they taught them anything else. And that was the problem.
Well, that's why you can go.
We knew everything about Jesus.
That's why you can go on. You can go on social.
Anything about the U.S. Federal Reserve.
You can go on social media. You can go on Periscope and all these social medias, and you'll see thousands of black folks on there with the Bible preaching the word, because we know that Bible probably better than we know other things. But let me, as I get ready, because I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. In a nutshell.
And I want to say good night. Thank you guys for having me. Good night, information.
And thank you for being here. But in a nutshell, should we actually be trying to assist and rally and support and encourage Ice Cube rather than criticize him because we may not like his approach or his style? He may not be a great oratorial speaker. But should we still give the brother some type of support, because because he means well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said before, like the rappers have always been the Goliaths of the black community to begin with. They've always been the mouthpiece, the heartbeat, the pulse, everything about the black community. They've been our representatives, so to speak. They speak the way that the black community feels, what goes on in the black community. We may not always agree with their approach or with the lyrics, but they basically are speaking what we feel as a whole in a collective.
Mm-hmm. Well, Aaron, I thank you for coming on tonight. You got to come back over here when you feel up to it. On the second channel, I'm starting to go back to what I was doing on that channel where I was going live. I'm going to be preparing a rapid fire of different content over there for during the week. And I'm probably going to go live on it probably tomorrow night, maybe over this weekend. You're more than welcome to come on over, brother. And once again, like I said, man, my heart goes out to you. I feel bad about the news that you laid on us tonight because nobody wants to lose a family member during these times that we're living in. It's difficult. What are you? Not to put your business all out in the street, but what sort of things are you doing, Aaron, to try to cope? You know, I work in mental health, so I'm going to have to always ask that question. What are you doing to try to cope a little bit? To try to, what are you doing to try to handle? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I talk to people. You know me, I'm a praying man. I definitely pray to the Lord. He definitely gets me through. Talk to family members. And, I just look at it. Basically, it's just a long road to healing. And I'm not trying to speed up the process. I'm just taking it one day at a time and just flowing with it.
I hear you. Remember, we were on a panel some time back, and we did make some predictions that we thought that Donald Trump, given how things were going, that he could possibly get reelected. And we were also saying that Donald Trump, we went from Obama. I think we got real passive under Obama as black people. We got sort of too comfortable because we had a black family in the White House. And then I remember I was on a panel with you and we said, well, maybe Donald Trump and all the antics that he does is something that could wake black people up to make us realize, get out of this dream world that we've been in, thinking that everything is good now because Obama's in office. We got black men in office. And maybe the positive of Donald Trump is that he's making black people mobilize. He's making black people, even even if you don't agree with it, a guy like Ice Cube. You're hearing more celebrities speak up about things that they don't like. All right. Even though we shouldn't have to rely on celebrities, we're hearing more black people mobilize. Hell, we didn't have an ADOS movement until we got a Donald Trump. So what I'm saying is his dogmatic behavior and attitude is actually waking black people up to say, we got to do something. So in that sense, Donald Trump has been good for black people in terms of waking us up because I'm going to keep it real, his racism, his dogmatic attitude and the way he carries himself is making us realize, oh shit, this ain't Obama no more. We've slept on Obama. Now we're doing what we should have done even when Obama was in office. We're organizing. We're creating organizations. We're mobilizing. We're talking about ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. We want our tangibles. We want our cut that goddamn check, the debt that you owe us, America. So it's creating a conversation that we were not having this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, when Obama was in office. We were too busy talking about how cute Michelle was looking in the children and how Obama had swag, all that stuff that was putting us, pacifying us when we should have been looking at tangibles even then. And the question, and someone said this, which was true. We've got nobody to blame but ourselves for not making Obama do what he should have done. I think what happened, this is just my opinion, that we thought because he was black and he had a black woman who's ADOS, by the way. Obama's not ADOS. We simply thought that, okay, by him being black or so-called black, that was going to be an automatic that we were going to get what we wanted. That's where we dropped the ball. No, we can't take it for granted. We should have been putting pressure on his neck. We should have been putting pressure on Obama just as, so you notice all these celebrities, the Kanye West, the comedian Steve Harvey, the Jim Browns, all these folks should have been doing the same thing when Obama was in office. They should have been going to the White House, meeting with him, and demanding tangibles for black people. Instead, they wanted to go to the White House and sing and dance like Beyonce and Jay-Z. They wanted to go to the White House and entertain and take a photo op with the man, when we should have been putting pressure on him to say, hey, black man, Obama, we voted for your ass by 80 to 90%. Black people put your ass over the top along with other voters, but you owe us, and therefore we're getting something out of your administration like the other groups did. See, nobody wants to talk about that. So go ahead, Aaron. I ran off at the mouth there. Go ahead, brother.
And I do remember when we sat on that panel, and I've always said that Trump's time in office should have been. I've always said that his presidency was basically the fire was to be lit under the collective black community's ass. Because you're right, for the last 8 years of the previous administration, we did get too lax. We got very lax and let our guard down big time. I mean, that's a serious. We need to have a serious checking for that.
Yes.
And basically, what's happening right now is that I look at Trump's time in office in a strategic way. Is basically the spotlight to show us what's always been surfaced to begin with, but it's just been suppressed. But now, basically, everything that's been closeted is now out in the open, and that's the way I see it now. It's basically like you played your hand, and now Trump, no pun intended, he's got the Trump card. And,
yes.
And that's basically we need to do that.
Aaron, I'm on a campaign now, brother. I'm pushing the Black Fathers Matter. Every time I go live, do a show, anything I do, that logo is going to always shine through, and I'm going to always talk about black fathers because I'm a black father, and there are black men out here that are raising their kids. There are black men that are single fathers. Aaron, can you tell me, I don't know if you're a father because we've never had that kind of conversation, but living in LA where you are, do you have a chance to see actual black fathers doing things with their kids when you're out and about like you are? Because it's about trying to change this narrative that's been created in this mass media disaster. We have to rechange that narrative. What do you see in LA? Do you see brothers stepping up and see them out there with their kids and doing things that they say that we don't do? What is your thoughts?
Every now and then I may see a black man with his children. It's not an all the time thing, but it's like every now and then. Okay. And to answer your previous question, no, I'm not a father. I actually help raise my nieces and nephews. Mm-hmm. And funny you should ask that question because in the past they have actually told me Happy Father's Day, even though I'm their uncle. But I stood in the stead in the proxy like a father to them, so I understood the concept of that. It's actually quite touching when they said that. Okay,
cool. And I was telling some brothers, I was over on Brother Prophet of Thoughts channel the other night, and we were getting into it over there. And I was telling, there's a lot of black men who don't want to get involved with mentoring. They'll say that you're being the cleanup man. Why should you clean up a community that some would say, oh, well, you have women they're in these communities where there's no men and the boys are becoming effeminate and all this sort of stuff. And my approach is, if you can't physically involve yourself in the community or in a child's life, then support an organization that's doing the work that you can't physically do or don't want to do. But you can always donate and support an organization that's willing and have men that are willing to do the work. Because as long as young black males do not have any access or any to appropriate masculine men that are doing something that they can learn something tangible from, then we're going to continue to see our young men go to the jail, the prison system, the industrial complex system, which I know very well because I deal with guys in that system, trying to help them mentally. we're going to continue to have these issues. What is your thoughts before we conclude?
I agree. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Inframan, because like that. First of all, that's one of the greatest tricks that's ever been pulled, to not be the cleanup man. That's the problem. See, we always wonder. That's what you hear, these same people that say don't be the cleanup man, but then they're gonna also turn around and say, "Oh, these little badass kids, they ain't got no home training." Okay, well, that's because so many of y'all kept going your own way and saving yourselves. That's the reason why. Oh, but see, that's another topic right there that they don't like to touch on. See, because one thing when it comes to that sort of thing, I don't care. I mean, I'll take the smoke, because I've been known to go off on this type of thinking and these types of dudes that do that. But yeah, that is the problem, because and I'm not saying that you should give them what they want. I'm not saying that we're owed to do that.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, help out if you can help out. I mean, I get it, because myself, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want a ready-made family. I would prefer a single woman myself. Mm-hmm. But I get I get that a lot of these sisters, they simply just want some help. They need some help, and some of them are in a position that, you don't necessarily always know what happened. Maybe their husband, they did have a husband who probably died. I know some women like that who are actually married, and their husband either died of natural causes or was killed or something.
Yes.
And so it's always the age-old narrative that, oh, he's locked up, or she made a bad choice in men. That's not always the case.
Well, Aaron, I totally agree with you, man. Oh, who do we have on now? Who do we have on?
This is still the Grandmaster Troll.
Okay. Well,
so,
let me do this. Grandmaster Troll, you're gonna send us out home with your statements. Aaron, thank you for calling in, brother. Aaron, we'll be talking. I'll be calling you up, man. I'm once again, my condolences goes out to you, brother, in the situation that you're dealing with currently. Peace to you, much love to you. And now we have Grandmaster Troll to send us to Old Glory, to Old Home. Go ahead, brother.
I'm gonna say this. You're not gonna like this information, man. But Donald Trump, he's a perfect president for you, because, like you said, he made black people mobilize. But what black people have been doing, this is what the older generation has been doing, is you guys have been mobilizing your victimhood mentality in the actions, creating things like ADOS and trying to get reparations. So if you guys would mobilize into downloading the Robinhood app, getting on YouTube,
the stock market app,
get involved in real estate, building up your credit.
Right.
All the information is out there. You don't need a government contract. You have to do the work. So when I see an information man with a YouTube channel, 10,000 subscribers, we saw Roland Martin, he's probably got 40, 50,000 subscribers.
Yes.
When this stream is over and it gets uploaded, it's going to have a YouTube ad on it. Information man has hundreds of other videos with YouTube ads. So he's actually going to be making passively income. And he also got an income through Cash Apps, Super Chat, Patreon. He is building a business. But what guys like Roland Martin and all these people who lie to you and make you dive into your victimhood mentality while they are living in their mansion or their 3-bedroom house, making all this money, driving the latest Mercedes, BMWs, or whatever, they won't tell you. They won't show you what stocks they bought. They won't show you what real estate they're investing in. They won't show you it's set up. They won't show you any of that. So if they can get you Negroes invested in that victimhood mentality, you will always be in the same position that you've been in for the last number of years.
Okay. So let me just, before I let you go, Grandmaster Troll, would you say, okay, I get the victim mentality, what you're saying about that. But would you say See, this is how I look at it. I think that black people can multitask. I think we can ride a bike, chew gum, jog at the same time. I believe that we can still do the things that you're talking about, work and go into business, save money, work together, get licenses, get skills that and join apps like that where you can invest your money in the stock market. I think we can still do that, and at the same time recognize our history and what has happened to us. So I think this is the thing. Would you disagree or not agree with me, Grandmaster, that when you look at Jewish people, for example, they're the perfect example of what I'm talking about. They still manage to handle their economic business, unify and operate off of a code of conduct. And at the same time, they say what? Never, never again. If you say something about them that's anti-Semitic, your ass is off television. Your ass is off. Look at what happened to Nick Cannon. As soon as Nick Cannon got out of line, because why? He doesn't own the network. They own it. As soon as he said something that they didn't agree with, they were able to boot his ass right off of their platform. While at the same time, so that tells me right there that they can do business and still recognize their history. And the reason why we don't see them as, we don't label them as victimizational type of ideology is because they still taking care of the business of economic and they have power. So therefore, even when they tell you you're anti-Semitic, and never forget, and this is our history, okay, the Holocaust, people don't see them as victimhood because they've got power. What black people need that's missing is that we need to create that same status. And I think if we had that same status, when we do talk about slavery and some of the things that have happened to us in history, it won't come off that way to some people because they'll say, well, black people still got power. They still got their own businesses. They got their own A, B, and C. So we really got to give them respect. Would you say that people respect your money, your ability to wave power, right?
Yeah, let me ask you this question. Was there any truth into what Nick Cannon said?
Now you're going to get me in trouble up here.
No.
Let me see. And I ain't got the followers that Nick Cannon got, so I can't. Let me just say this. What Nick Cannon said, if you look at what he said in terms of the history of he got the history wrong. It was a black man, original man, who brought Europeans out of the Caucasus Mountains. So when he was talking, he kind of got some of it mixed up, and I think it's because he was trying to impress, my man, Professor Griff. I think he was trying to impress Professor Griff. He was trying to show that he was down, that he was knowledgeable. But in doing so, what he failed to recognize is that he was not talking on his own platform. Just like if I say something that YouTube deems as a violation, you know what I'm saying, they're going to strip my channel as well. So I think he has to recognize where he is when you say stuff like that. If you're going to say that, then you have to be prepared to know that you're going to lose your network or your platform that you're on there, and you're going to have to take it somewhere else. So I think from a history point of view, he was right, because if you look at history and how people migrated around and where the original man came from and things of that nature, then he was right. But he did not, his presentation was off. And the place that he was saying it was not the right place, because he was going to lose his platform there. And maybe Nick Cannon said what he said, and maybe he didn't give a damn because maybe he was ready to leave that platform anyway to become more independent. So who knows? He might have purposely did that to set himself up for something else. You never know. But you see, this is the power, though, brother Grandmaster Troll. This is where the power lies. What did he do the next couple of days? He got up and he apologized to the Jewish community. That's power, baby. That's power. How many people, when people disrespect black people and we call them on it, what do they always say? Oh, I was just kidding. Just like Lindsey Graham when he was interviewing Amy Barrett, the Supreme Court justice, And he had the audacity to say, well, you know, the good old days, back in the good old days, and I'm like, what? And then when he was confronted, he says, I was just kidding. But you never see these people humble themselves and apologize to black people. Because why? They don't see us as having power. I'll end there and let you conclude with what you're going to say.
I'll just conclude with this. If Nick Cannon had power from doing all his stuff, all the things he did in media in the past, if Nick Cannon wanted the power, he would have had his own platform to stand on, and he wouldn't need their money.
Right.
Since he wanted to be on their platform and not build his own, he couldn't stand on what he said, and that's where he messed up.
Okay.
And I'll leave
Let me ask you this question before you leave. Let me put a picture. This is LeBron James. I got LeBron James on the screen here. Wait a minute. Hang on for 1 minute. I got LeBron James on the screen here. Okay. And people are talking about whether the Lakers season was an asterisk and all of that sort of stuff. And I want to ask you this question, brother. Do you believe that black men should have played the season and got out there and did what they did by playing basketball when black people are catching hell out here? The Lakers up there. I got the Laker logo up there. Black people are catching hell. Let me play something for you by my main man, Karima Yarima. This brother, I follow this brother and have a lot of respect for him. Let me see if I could find the audio clip of what he said, because I thought he made a pretty interesting point, and here it is, and I hope everybody can hear this.
We'll sit back and debate on whether the Lakers actually won or not, or should there be an asterisk actually put next to this season. But black men won't get behind closed doors to come up with a plan for the black community. Black men won't even question why the fucking Lakers or any black players in the league played this season when our community is up under attack. These same black men who were questioning whether an asterisk should be put next to the Lakers season, these same ones aren't down demanding reparations for our black communities. Just interesting where the black man's priorities are these days. Sport and play.
All right, because I know that you are, you're a ref, you're into sports, you got a great program out there in Oakland, you're still working with the kids and everything out there, right, brother?
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, because I grew up playing sports and basketball and all that myself. So sports is an important component. It's gotten a lot of brothers out of the hood. It's given some brothers mobility. However, I think that's not the only thing that we can do. But and even whether you disagree or not, brother, do you think the brother had a point there in what he was saying in that soundbite? What is your thoughts? Either way, brother, it's not any way, whether you agree or disagree, but I want to hear your point.
I couldn't hear the soundbite because I'm on the line. But to answer your first question, before the bubble started, Kyrie Irving wanted the players to boycott and start their own league. And then the Jacob Blake situation, they boycotted.
Okay.
And then even during the NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals, there was a black man in Texas by the name of Jonathan Prince who was shot and killed by the police. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, the NBA players chose to boycott for Jacob Blake. Mm-hmm. But not for the brother who got shot in Texas.
Yes.
The players should stop playing NBA and start their own league. But since they don't want to do the hard work and sacrifice their guaranteed millions of dollars to maybe the players who come after them to actually have ownership in that league, since they refuse to do that, they will never have any more power than what they already have.
Okay. Well, Grandmaster Troll, come by anytime. Peace to you. Thank you for contributing to the discussion tonight. I think I wanted to take the approach with this video tonight. I didn't want to just get up here and start, just throwing Cube under the bus and saying, oh, he's a coon and all this. I wanted to really examine what the brother is trying to do, because he is trying to do something. We may not like his approach, may not like his style. He's not the best speaker, but I have to agree, black people do need tangibles, and he is trying to do, it's a start, but he can't do it by himself. He needs more people to jump on board with what he's trying to do. So with that said, I'm going to get on out of here tonight, everybody. Peace to the Grandmaster Troll who came through, and I'm going to end the call here. Peace to you, brother, and have a good night. So anyway, everybody, that was the Grandmaster Troll who came over and participated in the program tonight, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody in the chat room, from RY to QT1 to Real Aaron Collins. Everybody in the chat room, give that brother, put that brother in your prayers, his family. Most importantly, G. Scott came in. DOD's been hanging in there with us tonight. We got Jane Doe that's been with us tonight. Oh, brother Aduvian came through. Brother Aduvian, you're going to have to watch this video over again when you have a chance, brother, because you missed a lot of good stuff. But I appreciate you coming into the chat room. And we got Back to the Basics has been here with us tonight. Brother Marcus Love, who also super chatted me. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
And then I also had the lovely Back to the Basics that super chatted me tonight.
Thank you for the super chat.
And I appreciate that as well. Let me see who else is up here. Now let me correct something. We got the Spiritual Creed who's come in the house saying, you always on. It's a blessing. Thank you, brother. Let me just say this, because what he said is correct, that black people, we need to start leveraging what we do on YouTube, what we do in our personal life, and investing in things. But let me put this on a record. I personally did not start doing YouTube because I personally am trying to make money. I came on here originally, or am still originally, to provide content, information, because I don't like the things that are going on in the world, and I want to report on it. I want to talk about it. I want to give you information, give you good interviews that I have with people that I bring on board that you can learn something from, and I can learn from you. Now, in terms of the super chat, when people super chat me, I say thank you. I don't sit up here saying, give me money, give me money. That's not my thing. I just appreciate, because it goes back into the program. So anything that anybody does for this platform goes back into the platform. And whether you super chat me or not, you're still welcome here. I'm still going to show you respect. However, he's right. I am going to get an LLC on this channel. I am going to trademark my name, because that's what we should be doing as black people in anything that we endeavor in, because it's about ownership, owning what you do. And I am going to try to finish up my website so I can start directing people over there to content that I'll put over there. So I really appreciate you all in the chat room. I'm going to get out of here. Peace to you, everybody that's come out tonight. And I want you all to have an enjoyable rest of your evening, and be safe wherever you are in the world, day, night, evening. So let's get at it. Let me get at this right now, and I appreciate you all being here. Peace.
Issues, I know I got issues. Hate you, then I miss you again.
Peace, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Selfish,
listening to the Information Man Show. Yes.
Please forgive my attitude. I want my cake and eat it too. But a little grace would be enough for me to prove that, baby, you're the remedy. You're my mirror, I can finally see, bringing out the best in me. Yeah, I don't want no problems, but I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out my issues with you, with you.
You are listening to Information Man.
Crutches,
Make sure to
I be
subscribe to
holding
his
crutches,
channel.
can't let go of any mistakes. Distant, sometimes I get distant, stay away as long as it takes. want the best in me, yeah. I don't want these problems, I know I got a lot of work to do. Baby, I'm not perfect, but I know I'm worth it, working out my issues with you, with you. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Nah, you can't go back home.
I'm tranked up and I'm danked up and I'm hella faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm tranked up and I'm danked up and I'm hella faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it.
I came over, I ain't sober, I'm still drunk, that's hangover. Might run it back when this page over. You the best thing I done slaved over. Gon' arch you back and been way over. It's overdue for that understanding. stressing over him, now you underdressing. Call me up and I come finessing like, ooh, we shot it, what it do, what it don't. Baby, you a queen, you can move how you want. You was rocking with me when I couldn't stay afloat. They ain't never saying nothing wavy to a boat. Like eyes up, look at me, now I'm the captain. Brought the camera, time for action. Split the legs just like a fraction. Tuck the napkin, time for snacking. You a
Thank you,
motherfucking
everybody,
meal.
for being here.
Mine, baby, tell me that
I
it's
hope
real.
you enjoyed the
Maxwell,
licensed
tell me how it
music.
feel. It's gonna be a minute cause I'm in it for
All
the thrill.
music is
Make her feel like heaven, she gon'
licensed.
put me in the wheel, and willingly I wanna do anything she wanna do. I ain't even wanna boo, but this is what the karma do. It's hard to be apart from you, cause ooh, I
love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home.
I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm hella faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it. I'm drank up and I'm danked up and I'm hella faded. You bend it down and you poke it up and you elevate it, you elevate it, you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you sit right here. Now you can't go back home. You love it when I get so high and drop that ass so low. Make you